This conference will now be recorded.
Thank you for attending this MALTA bookkeeping application training session. First, when you log into MALTA, you should receive a pop-up that states, before using the bookkeeping application, please read through the user guide located in the Treasurer's Resources area under MALTA Training. Let me show you how to get to that. So click on your Duties tab, go down to Treasurer's Resources, and on the left-hand side we have MALTA Bookkeeping Training, MALTA Bookkeeping Application User Guide. That's what you would like to click to open up the PDF document and review this document before accessing the Malta bookkeeping application. Now, this Malta bookkeeping application is a tool to make the treasurer's life easier. It is not required for a treasurer to utilize this functionality in Malta. Because of this, transactions that a treasurer makes in Malta will not automatically flow into this application. So, for example, if an auxiliary treasurer logs into Malta and pays the auxiliary's bond, that transaction will not flow into the bookkeeping application. The treasurer will need to input all receipts or disbursements that they make in Malta into the bookkeeping application. Please note, this tool is geared towards local auxiliary treasurers. With that said, departments may choose to utilize this tool as well to keep their books, but it is not as robust as a current bookkeeping solution that a department may utilize currently. Um, So we're not going to get profit loss statements. We're not going to get trial balances. We're not going to get balance sheets. So just keep that in mind. This bookkeeping application is only available to treasurers. Presidents cannot log into the bookkeeping application. Departments cannot log into their auxiliaries bookkeeping applications. So just keep that in mind. For assistance, treasurers need to contact their department treasurer. The department treasurers have been trained on this bookkeeping application. Only if the department treasurer cannot not assist, the department treasurer should contact the VFW Auxiliary Info line at info@vfwauxiliary.org. For technical issues with the website, such as a page not loading, you may contact Malta Support at 1-800-349-3670. Before we get started with the book, how to use the bookkeeping application, there are a few terms that will be used and need to be understood. The first term is account, and this is the equivalent of a checking account or a savings account. And within this account are housed funds, and these are separate pots or buckets of money that reside within the account. For instance, an auxiliary may have a general fund, relief fund, hospital fund, cancer fund, all housed within the account. Book balance. This is the account balance in the treasurer's books as of a certain date. Bank balance. This is the account balance at the bank as of a certain date. Now, these two balances can differ because of what we call outstanding items. An outstanding item is an item that is recorded in the treasurer's books but has not been processed or cleared by the bank. For example, writing a check. That check amount is taken out of the treasurer's books, but the bank balance does not reflect that until the check has cleared the bank. Receipts. Receipts are monies received by the organization. We also call these deposits. Disbursements. These are monies expended by the organization. For example, checks written or bank service charges that are taken out of the account. Now, let's jump in and access the Malta bookkeeping application. We would click on our Duties tab, and under our Treasurer's Duties, in the Shortcuts area, we have the Bookkeeping application. Click on that. Now, the first time that the bookkeeping application is accessed, the treasurer will have to go through a setup process. We also call this a wizard, as there is a series of pop-up pages that come up. Now, to ensure that everything is correctly input, the treasurer needs to have the following items available: the last reconciled bank statement, the last bank reconciliation, the checkbook, and the last treasurer's report. We want to take our time and make sure that we input everything correctly and build a good foundation. With a good foundation, our books should flow properly in the future. In this bookkeeping application, each auxiliary are required to have a general fund, a national and department dues fund, and a relief fund within their bank account. After entering the fund balances, auxiliaries may enter any custom funds that they may have. So let's get started. Click Next. And the first question that comes up is, what is the bank account name? And please note, this is the bank account that is linked in MALTA. This should be your main checking account for your auxiliary. So we can put in any name we'd like there. And then it wants the account balance from the last bank statement. Now, I am starting with a June 30th account balance because we want to put an entire fiscal year, which is from July 1 to June 30th, in this software so that we can come up with full fiscal year reports. So my June 30th balance in my hypothetical situation here is $470. And this is as of 6/30 of 2023. Here we can put in a description of the checking account and we can put anything we like. It is not required, it's just available. We click Next. Now, the wizard asks for fund details as of the statement date previously entered, so as of 6/30 in this situation. So we're going to say that our general fund at $230. And again, we can enter a description. It is not required. I'm going to click Next. National and Department Dues Fund. Because this auxiliary was good in this hypothetical situation, there are no carryover amounts that are due to National or Department. So I'm going to click Next. Our relief fund. Our relief fund had $55. Now here is where a user needs to be very careful. Again, you can enter a description if you'd like. If you click Next, you're not going to be able to enter any custom funds. So we have to take our time here. Does this organization, auxiliary district, or department have any additional custom funds? In this scenario, we do. I'm going to click Add Custom Fund. And this hypothetical auxiliary has a kitchen fund. And I'm going to make an error here on the amount so I can show you in a little bit how to come back and correct it. Let's say it had $189.47 and we have additional funds. So I'm going to click Add Another Fund. And we also have a cancer fund, $23.13. I'm going to add another one. And here I'm going to mistype the name of the fund so I can show you later how we can go back and correct that. We're going to call it the National Home Fund, but spell it incorrectly. And we only have $1.25 in there. Click Add Another Fund. And we have a scholarship fund. And that amount is $9.30. And we're going to enter our final custom fund, VA Hospital Fund. We had $61.85 in there. Now we don't have any additional custom funds to enter, so I'll hit Next. And as you see, we stated earlier that our account balance was $470. The system is saying, well, wait a second, you entered 570. There's a difference of $100. The difference must be zero. So the system will not let us click Next. We have to correct our error. So after looking at this, I see, oh, I put $189.47 in for the kitchen fund. I need to correct that. So the way we correct that is by hitting the back button. And let's go back to the kitchen fund. I fix that. I hit the tab button, hit Next. We'll have to go through all of our funds again. So our account balance is 470 and our total funds are 470. The difference is zero. So we've got all the funds set up. Click Next. Okay, so that was our bank balance. Now it wants to know our book balance. So actually our book balance on July 1st was $466.85. This is a difference of $3.15. Click Next. Okay, so we need to explain that difference. And so I'm going to say it's because of a disbursement that was made. And if we click here on this handy dandy calendar that was created, we can go to any month, and this disbursement happened on 6/29. The total was $3.15. The reference or check number is 5999. And so then I have to enter a description. The description is we went to Food for Less and we purchased tea that was needed at the post. And you'll see that our total is 315. See, our fund allocation total is in red down here. It's telling us that it's not balanced. So I'm going to come in here and type in $3.15. See how it turned black? It's balanced. So if we had another outstanding disbursement or deposit as of the last bank reconciliation, we would keep entering them. So we add another. If we didn't have any, we could click skip. This is my final one, so I'm going to hit next. And it shows our difference is 0. We can proceed by clicking done. So this is the main bank account area. If we had a savings account, we can click add account. And we would have to go through the wizard again to set up for the savings account. Now, some auxiliaries are required by local jurisdictions to have a second checking account if they have gaming such as bingo. So here's where you could also add your second checking account. To access the account, see how it's blue? That means it's hyperlinked. So we click on that. So this is our main bank register page. This blue button, we can add disbursements, which are like checks. We can add receipts or deposits. We can transfer funds between accounts. So if you transferred money at the bank from your checking account to your savings account, instead of having to enter the transaction in your checkbook and then your savings account by making 2 transactions, you can click transfer funds and do it all in one fell swoop. Here's where we can reconcile our bank account. Here, if we need to get back to the accounts page to add an account or make an adjustment, we click on Manage Accounts. Manage Funds. Do you remember where we made that mistake with the National Home Fund, the spelling? Well, here is where we can go in and edit that. And now we hit Save, and it's correct now. Also, if you have a fund that has not been used for 12 months and has a $0 balance, you can what we call soft delete the fund so it doesn't show up on any of the reports anymore. Account detail. Here, if you need to update any of this information. Reconciliation history. So once you reconcile your bank statement, this will keep a record of that. And then this tab is for all the reports that we have available. An audit report, which is like a quarterly report, a bank reconciliation report, a bank register report, a fiscal year report, and a monthly report. Now, setup is complete. Let's go ahead and enter some transactions. So the first transaction that we're going to enter is a receipt. And this one was dated as of July 15th. The receipt total was $145, and this references cash. And we received this cash from various members. And this was for chili supper proceeds. So we had 5 20s, 2 10s, 6 5s, and 5 1s that make up the $145. Now, I'm going to show you, I make an error, and I'll show you how to correct it. So let's say I said that the general fund received $165 of this. So now you've entered your receipt total. You have to allocate that between what funds it hits. And then I'll hit tab. Don't hit enter as you go through these. It will not advance the cursor. So use the tab button. And then my kitchen fund is $80. As you see, my fund allocation is 245 and it's in red. It doesn't equal our receipt total. In fact, if I try to hit save, it'll give me an error. I put in a 1 up here. It should have been 65. I hit tab and see how it's now black. It matches receipt total. I can now hit save. So let's go ahead and add another receipt for the month. This receipt is going to be dated July 25th, and the receipt total is $30. And my reference number is going to be that with the date of the deposit. and I received it from Ann Pantelikas. And now in my description, I can put information of the deposit. I'm depositing check 8574 for new member Ann Pantelikas. Now, our description area, it allows up to 500 characters, so you can put quite a bit of information. Now, in my hypothetical auxiliary, they voted to put $10 into the general fund, and then we owe our department and national dues of $10 for each annual membership, and $10 we put in the relief fund. So 30 and 30. So now I'm able to hit save. Now, if I enter this information and I realize I made a mistake, I can go in and click edit. So I can still edit this. As long as this transaction has not been reconciled, we can edit it. So let's go in and add some disbursements. So this disbursement happened on July 4th, and the disbursement total was $85, and it's check number 6000. And the payee is our local Trader Joe's. And this is supplies for our chili dinner that we had. And that money came out of our kitchen fund. Now you can allocate expenses or receipts to either one fund or any number of funds that you have, it doesn't matter. Click the save button, and you see, even though I entered our receipts first, this register here at the bottom puts all the transactions in chronological order and gives you an account balance. So let's go ahead and add another disbursement for the month. This one we're going to date July 31st, a disbursement total of $10, and this is check 6001. And we're paying this check to our department. And the reason for this is that we are going to underwrite art supplies for patients at our local VA hospital. And so these funds would be taken out of our VA hospital fund. Now we hit save. So we're going to pretend it is now the beginning of August. We have received our July bank statement and we need to go in and reconcile. So we click reconcile. This asks for the bank statement balance, and our bank statement balance at 641.85 as of 7/31. Now, a handy tool that our developers made for us is if we are ever charged with bank service charges, instead of having to click on disbursements and add a disbursement for that, we can enter that information in here when we're reconciling our bank statement, and we choose what fund it would hit. Also, if we're lucky enough and we earn interest on our checking account, we can input that here also and what fund it would go into. We don't have any, and you can leave this blank if you don't have any, so we're going to hit start reconciling. Now here it shows that our statement balance from our book balance, there's a difference. We are going to say that, oh, I want to show you. You can see all outstanding items here, or if you click on disbursements, you can see only outstanding disbursements, or if you click on receipts, you can see all outstanding receipts. We're going to say that all of our receipts cleared. Now, another neat feature that our developers built is if this little check all box, if everything clears, you can check that, but we're going to say that only this one cleared. So you can see that our Trader Joe's check did not clear, and then the check that we sent to our department did not clear. Now, if we realized that we put the wrong amount when we said what the bank statement balance was, we could hit edit info, and here we could update that. We didn't, so we're going to hit cancel. Now, if I hit save, you'll see here that the status shows C on these items. So what that means is that they have cleared our bank. But in order for this to be reconciled, it must show R. This was created because some people who keep books like to go in to the bank account each day and then clear items that they see hit the bank account instead of doing this as a big job at the end of the month. So, in order for everything to show reconciled in the reconciliation report to be complete and ready, we actually have to click reconciliation complete. So it's very important that we do that. So you see our status has changed to R for reconciled. That's really important because if we go into our reconciliation history, we can then see that our July 31st statement was reconciled on this date with that balance. So now our first month is completed, we can go in and view the reports. So let's look at our bank reconciliation report. We choose what account we're working with, and then we have to choose what fiscal year, and then what month. This was for July, so then we view report. So here you see our bank statement balance. We have these outstanding checks, total outstanding checks. We did not have any outstanding deposits, and then our total adjusted bank balance / our book balance. Now, we can download this into Excel, Word, PDF, CSV, just as we can with any other MALTA reports. We can look at our bank register report. Again, you choose what account you want and the time period. So let's go back and look at our July entries. Click View Report. It gives us our starting balance, chronologically what occurred, and our ending balance. Then we look at our monthly report. Again, choose what account you want. And with our monthly report, we can choose to look at certain funds or all. In this scenario, we're going to view all. And let's go to July. Click View Report. This report shows our ending balances as of 6/30. So these are our fund balances with our total account balance, all receipts and how they affected the funds with the total account, all disbursements, and then our ending fund balance with our ending account balance. Again, you can choose to download this into PDF, Word, Excel, CSV. And the question has come up, can this report be put in the Secretary's minutes? And the answer is, however your auxiliary votes to have their reports created and presented and kept is up to the auxiliary. So it's whatever your auxiliary body votes upon. So we have now completed the first month. Let's jump in and do the second month. So this second month, let's add a receipt. We're going to say this receipt happened on August 15th for a total of $250. And again, the reference is cash. And we received this from various members. And we received this cash from pull tab proceeds. So $10 bills, we had 20 of them. $5 bills, we had 10 of those for a total of $250. And $50 of this is going into the general fund, $100 to the relief fund, $50 to our cancer fund, and $50 to our national home fund. Again, receipt total is $250. Our fund allocation is $250. We can hit save. Let's add another receipt for the month. And this one's going to be as of 8/31, and the receipt total is $30. And we're going to reference this as the date of the deposit. And we received this from Patrick Mahomes. And so it was check number 1515 from Patrick Mahomes, his member ID for annual dues. And again, per this hypothetical situation, $10 would go into the general fund, $10 into the National and Department dues funds, and $10 into the relief fund, 30 and 30. Save. So let's add a couple disbursements for this month. So we're going to click on disbursements. And the date of this disbursement is 8/1, and the disbursement total is $10, and it's reference number or check number 6002, and we're going to pay our department. And this is going to be for the annual dues that we collected last month for Ann Pantelikas, who is a new member. And we can't put her membership ID number since she's a new member because departments have to process new members. And so the $10 that we're sending to our department will come out of our national and department dues fund. Click Save. So let's add one final disbursements for the month. Let's date this 8/5, disbursement total of $150, check number 6003. And with this one, we're going to pay Bob's Pool Tab Emporium. And this is going to say supplies for the pool tab sales, and that came out of our general operating account, $150. And we're going to hit save. Oh, it doesn't like apostrophes, so let's hit save. There we go. Now let's click on reconcile because we're going to say we've entered all the transactions for the month. Again, we're going to enter our bank statement balance in this hypothetical situation, $721.85, and this was as of August 31st. And we didn't have any service charges or interest, so we're going to hit start reconciling. Again, we can choose to look at all outstanding items, all disbursements, and all receipts. And as you can see, the items that were not cleared from last month are still on here because they're outstanding. All right. So I'm going to say that everything cleared except for our deposit that we made late in the day. And then also, still, our check from July to Trader Joe's did not clear. So we see that our difference is 0. We can say our reconciliation is complete. And again, if we go into our reports area, we can see our bank reconciliation report. Choose your fiscal year, and this was for August. Click View Report. And you see that old check number, $85 to Trader Joe's, is still outstanding. And then the deposit that we made late in the day was still outstanding. So here's our bank balance, and this is how we get to our book balance. So let's click on Reports, and we can click on our bank register, choose what account, and we can choose any time period here. In fact, let's show all the way back from when we started entering, July to August. It's a running check balance, your checkbook balance here. And it shows what has been reconciled and what hasn't. And if you just want the month, you can come in and change it to August 1st. Click View Report. And then the final report that we want to look at is our monthly report. Choose what account. You can choose certain funds if you want, or you can choose all. I'm going to select all. And I'm going to choose this for August. View report. So it shows our July ending balances, our receipts for August, our disbursements, and our ending fund balances with our total account balance. Now what's really neat about this is you can run this for a couple months if you want, or even more. So I change the date back to July. I'm going to click View Report. And so this is dynamic. It adds lines or takes them away as needed. So this report is very, very neat. And again, this report, by clicking this down arrow, can be downloaded to Excel, CSV, PDF, whatever the treasurer would like to use. All right, so let's do the third and final month of our quarter here. So I'm going to click on Bank Register, and I'm going to add a receipt. And this receipt is dated for 9/15 for a total of $60. And the reference number is going to be that. And we received these funds from Travis, Kelsey, and Tina Smith. And down in the description, I can put check number 8701, Travis Kelsey, annual membership dues with his membership ID number, and then check number 89 from Tina Smith, her annual membership dues and her membership ID number. And in this hypothetical situation, $20 would go into general fund, 20 into national and department dues, and $20 into the relief fund. 60 and 60. Save. All right. Let's go ahead and add a disbursement for the month. This one occurred on 9/1, and the total is $30, and the reference is ACH. And the reason being is because we paid in Malta. Well, what did we pay for? Well, this auxiliary was naughty in this hypothetical situation and did not pay their bond in time. So they're now paying it on September 1st. By not paying their bond by 8/31, their department president would not be eligible for Circle of Excellence points. So they're paying their bond of $30, and that comes out of their general fund. Hit tab, and you see how that's now black down here in the fund allocation total, and I can hit save. Now, let's go ahead and add another disbursement. And this one's going to be on 9/2. The disbursement total is $10. And this is also going to be ACH because our payee is also the VFW Auxiliary National Headquarters through Malta. And what we're doing is we are paying the dues for Patrick Mahomes with the receipt number. And that was for the department and nationals portion of dues. So that comes out of that fund. Fund allocation total equals the disbursement total. Click save. Now, let's go ahead and add one final disbursement for the month. And this one took place on 9/30, and it was $20. Reference number, we are going to say VFW Auxiliary National Headquarters because we're paying through Malta yet once again. Excuse me, that's not the reference number, that's the payee. The reference number is ACH again. My apologies. And the description is that we're paying the annual dues for Travis Kelsey and Tina Smith. And since those are national and department dues, so those will come out of this fund, $20. Click save. Now, if you recall, on our last bank reconciliation, we had that check from Trader Joe's that was still outstanding. We didn't know what was going on. So, being the good auxiliary treasurer that we are, we contacted Treasurer Joe's and said, hey, we wrote this check back in July and the check has not cleared. And Trader Joe's stated that they shredded the check and wanted us to consider the supplies for the chili supper a donation. So, how do we account for this voided check? Well, to keep clean paperwork and a good audit trail, we need to do a receipt to show the voiding of the disbursement. And that's how the disbursement will be offset and we're able to clear it from our books. So what we'll do is we'll click Add Receipts, and we'll date this for 9/30, and the receipt total will be the same as the amount of the check of $85, and the reference number we're going to say is the voiding of Trader Joe's check number 6,000. And so we received this from Trader Joe's. And then I'm going to give it quite a long description so that we know exactly what is going on. And so we have to remember, where did this money come out of? Well, if you recall, $85 came out of the kitchen fund because this was supplies for the chili supper. So now we click save. And so we're able to see 25 entries on this screen for your check register. You know, obviously you can see more or less depending on the size of your screen. So you could choose 100, 10, 25, whatever suits you best. If you need to search for a certain check, you can do that here. And as you see, our edit and delete options have gone away for these items that have been cleared. Now let's say that we realize we made a mistake and we need to edit something. You'd actually have to go into your reconciliation history and undo your reconciliation. Now, if you made the error in July, you have to undo the August reconciliation and the July reconciliation, and then go back and redo that, both of those reconciliations. So please keep that in mind. So we've entered all of the transactions for the month. Let's go ahead and reconcile our final month here. And so this bank statement balance is going to be $772.85 on 9/30. And this month we were lucky enough to receive on 9/30 $1 of interest. And per the vote of this hypothetical auxiliary, any interest earned would go into the general fund. So now we're going to hit start reconciling. So you see here that this receipt offsets this disbursement because we voided that check. So let's go ahead and clear those. And we're going to say this cleared, this cleared, this cleared, and this cleared. So now our difference is 0. And for anybody who's ever entered transactions in Malta near the end of the month knows it takes a couple of days for items to clear the bank. So that's why this one did not clear. Our difference is 0. Our reconciliation is complete. So now you can see in our reconciliation history the different statement ending dates when they're reconciled on, what the ending balances were. Let's go look at our reports. Let's look at our bank reconciliation report. This was for September. We have our bank statement balance, our outstanding check or electronic payments of $20, and our ending book balance / our adjusted bank balance. We can look at our bank register. We choose what account. And let's go ahead and look at it first all the way back to July through September. And if we just want to look at September, we can change it. View report. And there you go. And then let's look at our monthly treasurer's report. Choose what account. Choose what funds. And let's just look at it for September at first. So you have your August ending balances, what happened in September, all of your receipts, all of your disbursements, and your new ending fund balances as of 9/30, and your total account balance. Now, if you wanted to look at this for a longer time period, let's go back to July. See how it added the rows dynamically? All right. So let's look at our audit report. And so we choose what checking account, what fiscal year, and what fiscal quarter. Now, this is not calendar quarter, this is fiscal quarter, because you have to remember, per the bylaws, auxiliaries have a fiscal year of July 1 through June 30th. So we choose the first fiscal quarter and click View Report. And you'll see that our cash balance on the last report are these with these funds. These are all the receipts for the quarter, all the disbursements, and then our cash balance as of the end of the quarter. And then down here, it gives us our bank reconciliation. We have our book balance. This is our bank balance. This was the outstanding item, $20. And then our total adjusted bank balance, $752.85, equals our book balance. Now you'll notice that there's no signature lines here. Why would that be? Because this report is not a substitute for a quarterly audit conducted by the trustees. That is why the trustees need to do their own audit. It's very, very important. And then the final report to show you would be our fiscal year report. Now, obviously, we only have one quarter's worth of information in here, but you choose what account you'd like, what fiscal year, and click View Report. And you can see exactly what happened over the entire fiscal year. I hope you find this training session helpful. Again, if you have any questions, please contact your department treasurer. And if your department treasurer has any issues, they can contact our info support line at info@vfwauxiliary.org. Thank you so much. and good luck working with this bookkeeping application and have a blessed day.